We'll be discussing about circular flow of income and expenditure in a two-sector, three-sector, and a four-sector economy. Now, what are these sectors? The sectors are nothing but for two-sector, we'll talk about household and firms. For three-sector, along with household and firm, we introduce the government. For a fourth sector economy, we have the rest of the world, or you can call it an international market. International trade gets introduced in the fourth sector. A fourth sector economy can also be called as an open economy, whereas the two and the three sector are closed economy. Now, in a two sector economy, for that matter, if you see the circular flow, it talks about how income of one sector is coming from the expense of another sector, or the expense of one sector is the income of another sector. Whatever one sector is doing as an expense is serving as nothing but income for the other sector. That is how the circular flow works. Now, when we talk about household sector, household is nothing but the consumer sector becomes household. The firm is someone who is producing goods or service. The firm is someone who engages in production of goods. Now, a household purchases goods and services made by the firms, made by these businesses. It is purchasing the flow. See, look at the circular flow of goods and service from the firm to the household. Now, that is not for free. The household is going to give payment in return of these goods and service. So here the circular flow is managed. On top, if you see, the household is providing land. The household is giving factors of production in the form of land, in the form of labor, in the form of capital, in the form of enterprise or an entrepreneur. In return, the firm pays, in return for land, the firm pays rent. In return for labor, the firm pays wages. In return for capital, interest rates are paid. In return for an enterprise or entrepreneur, the firm gives back profits. So whatever is being purchased, you are giving money in return for that. So here, how much ever is the income in two-sector economy, which is without saving. Without saving, in two-sector economy, everything which is being earned by I'll come back to these two slides. Everything which is an income is being consumed. So the identity here is Y is equal to C. Y stands for income, C is for consumption. Coming back to a little brief about the household sector, the household is the sole buyer of goods and service and the supplier of factors of production like land, labor, capital, and organization. Organization is nothing, but it is the enterprise. Now, it spends the entire income of purchase of goods and services. Fine. So there is no savings. This diagram itself is without saving. When we come to business sector, the business sector is producer of supplier of goods and services. It is generating revenue by selling these goods and services to the household. It will hire laborers. It will employ them. It is an organization which will use the capital, which will use the land provided by the household. So it is the sole supplier of goods and service and the sole person to hire these factors of production. And that is about the business sector. This is the identity. Circular flow of income of two sector itself can be with savings also. Savings from the household is mobilized by an intermediary, that's not a sector, by an intermediary known as a financial market. Mostly we consider banks over here, very frequently used bank as a financial intermediary who will take the savings from the household and mobilize it to the firms. So when initially what we studied, Y is equal to C, the income is supposed to be, whole and soul of the income is supposed to be consumed. But if you're not consuming, you are going to save it. So saving acts as a leakage from the circular flow, which is mobilized by the financial sector in the form of investment. So investment becomes an injection in the economy. Okay, this is what I just told. Savings of household is loaned to the business sector by this financial intermediary. The top and the lower part of the circular flow remains the same as it was previously. But now the saving is taken from the household by the financial market, which is a leakage, is being injected to the economy as an investment. This is two sector. This is two sector with savings. Okay. Next is Y is equal to C plus S. C plus S is savings. This is again a leakage. C plus I is an investment. So C plus S is equal to C plus I. S is equal to I because if the left hand sides are equal, the right hand side also becomes equal. You can cancel out consumption and hence what you are left with is S is equal to I. Okay. Now again, if we talk about savings, it is a part of household which is earned as an income, but it's not consumed, it's being saved. That saving is mobilized by the financial sector as investment. A financial market can be a set of different intermediaries that form as a mediator, that suppose that participate as a mediator to mobilize the savings. Banks are amongst the most familiar one and the most important institutions that are found. Now, when we come to a three-sector economy, the addition which happens other than household and firms is of a government. A government takes away taxes from us. It will take away taxes from the household and the firms. To the household, the government can give wages and salaries, it can give transfer payment. To the firms, it gives subsidies. Okay, so again, in the form of leakage, we have taxes. It is taking away from consumption taxes, but it is giving back government expenditure. Okay, so that is a leakage and an investment. See, the government is giving wages and salaries, the government is giving purchase of goods, transfer payment is given to the household, subsidies is given to the firms. The household and the firms, both of them give tax payments to the government. Okay. Okay, what is subsidies? Subsidies is a sort of aid, a sort of help which is given to the firms in order to encourage the production of their goods, in order to boost it. Okay, there's another definition which is given here of personal income. Personal income is a disposable income which is obtained after deducting tax from it. That is known as personal income. The money spent in the product market on the value of final goods and services is given to the business sector. So again, the circular flow is established. Coming to the identity from the government, whenever the government sector is introduced, as I spoke about savings being a leakage, taxes being a leakage. So that identity is Y is equal to C plus S plus T. Whereas when you talk about injections, the identity becomes Y is equal to C plus I plus G. Now, when I introduce a fourth sector, which is the international sector, foreign sector, rest of the world, the fourth sector economy becomes an open economy, like over here. The foreign sector, to the foreign sector, we export our goods and services and we get payment against it. From the foreign sector, we receive their goods and services and we make payment to it. So this is another circular flow which can be established with the fourth sector. Okay, once again going through the whole diagram. As two main sector, we have household and we have firms. The household is going to buy goods and services from the firm and make payment against it. The household is going to employ the factors of production to the firms. It is going to provide laborer, land, etc. And it is going to get factor payment against it. Our government takes away taxes from household and firms, but gives back wages, salaries to the household, gives back subsidies to the firms. When an international sector is introduced, an international sector is going to sell us goods. That means we are importing their goods and we are giving them payment against it. If we are selling our goods to them, that means we are exporting and we are getting payment from it. When we import, we give them the payment. When we export, we receive these payments and remittances. Next part is about export and import identity. Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus exports, whereas import forms a part of Y is equal to C plus S plus T plus M. If that M is taken on the right hand side, it becomes negative, and X minus M is nothing but your net exports. We naturally assume that exports are always going to exceed imports, so hence we write it as net exports, because from exports you're going to subtract the imports. All right. Again, a little bit about leakages and injections. Leakages is what is being removed from the economy, like savings, taxes, and import payment. As for injections, the savings is mobilized as investment. So that's an injection. Government expenditure is an injection, and exports is an injection. So that was about circular flow of income and expenditure in the form of two sector with saving, without saving, three sector, and four sector, or an open economy. Thank you.